Today on Dr. Phil.
I believe that my mom killed my sister's best friend and buried her in the backyard.
A daughter's outrageous accusations.
You said you were passed around to your dad's friends at sex parties. Did this happen?
No.
Are her recollections real?
I have memories, and I have memories.
Or just her imagination?
Tracy is crazy.
Now.
You sit here accused of molesting your daughter and murdering multiple people. Is everybody ready to hear the truth here?
I need to know if this is real.
None of it happened.
Oh, my God.
No, you don't get to do this. It is not a response to say, oh, well, I just, If you want to unplug, we're done. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Take a look at all of these journal entries in front of me. Some of them written haphazardly on paper towels, some of them on yellow sheets. Here's what one entry says. If you ever tell, he will just say, go ahead and tell. I don't care. No one will believe you because you're just a sick little girl who no one will believe, and next time you try and tell, I'll kill you. My first guest, Tracy, says she started writing down these thoughts about 3 years ago after disturbing memories from her childhood began to surface, began to rush back on her. Thoughts and memories about murder and molestation involving not just one, but both of her parents. So is this a case of repressed memory, or have false memories been created in this woman's mind? Now, her family says, yes, she is just wrong, top, side, and bottom. But Tracy insists what happened to her is real, and she is here to face her monster mother.
About 3 years ago, after the death of my father, I started remembering things from my childhood, abuse, sexual abuse. Until 3 years ago, I didn't have memories about being abused. My relationship with my father was always very close. I was daddy's girl. Dad was the fun one. He was the play toy. So as long as you followed his rules, you got to spend time with him. My father started molesting me around the age of 4 or 5. A lot of the abuse that I remember, it was violent. It was with objects. I remember my sister having the abuse done to her. I can remember my sister doing bicycle exercises in bed. She said, you need to do them too. We're making our legs strong so that Daddy can't pull our legs apart. I talked my dad into coming into my room because Kelly couldn't take it anymore. Kelly was suicidal. My parents would have their friends over, and I thought that they were just playing cards. And my sister explained to me that they were sex parties. I remember my mom walked in and she was like, what the hell is going on? And there I was, tied up. The men had been rotating in and out of my bedroom. I believe absolutely my mom knew that this was going on, and I actually remember my mom watching. I can remember one time in particular, my dad wasn't allowed to speak to me. I couldn't take the fact that my dad wasn't allowed to talk to me. I called my dad in and I said, Dad, please, and he said, you told on me. And I said, you told me Mom always knew about this. And he said, well, now I'm in all kinds of trouble. I said, all right, look, if you'll be nice to me again and you can start coming back in my room, but we have to make some rules. You can't hurt me anymore. You have to brush your teeth. The smell of corn nut breath made me nauseous. My mom was very jealous of the relationship I had with my father. I was in love with my father. My family states that they don't believe me and that it never happened. I'm being ostracized by my family. I blame my mom. My mom is beyond vindictive. She scares me.
And I would never hurt her, but life would be easier if she were just gone.
Well, if being allegedly molested by her father was not bad enough, Tracy also accuses her mother of murder.
I believe that my mom killed my sister's best friend and buried her in the backyard. When I was 11 years old, this girl and my sister Kelly had planned to run away together. I remember a fight occurring that evening, and I was hearing all kinds of commotion and screaming and yelling. I wanted to see what was going on. I ran into my sister's bedroom, and my mom shoved and pushed my sister's best friend. The back of her head hit my sister's dresser in her bedroom. I remember blood just coming out of her nose and her ears, and I think even her eyes. I remember hearing my sister scream. After she was already dead, my mom got my dad's gun out and had me shoot her in the head so that if the body was ever dug up, that it could be blamed on one of us kids. I ran back into my bedroom and locked the door. I remember soon after that hearing somebody outside digging in the dirt right outside my window.
A family out there had a missing child, and they don't know what happened to her.
Tracy's husband, Marty, says even though his wife's allegations seem out there, he frankly believes that they just may be true.
I do not believe Tracy is lying about this. I believe in my heart that something did happen to Tracy in her youth. I believe that she was molested. Some of the memories that she recalls, they're so outlandish, they're very difficult for me to grasp. But the behaviors of her family members lead me to believe that they are hiding something. When Tracy and I approached her mother about the abuse, Donna seemed very well rehearsed. She didn't give a good reaction to the subject matter that was being put to her. I do believe that Donna has something to hide.
You actually saw a therapist in 91 and 92, and hypnosis was done at that time because she had feelings that you perhaps had been sexually molested.
Yes.
She was just seeing signs, right?
She said that I had all the classic signs of molestation.
And you denied, no, I don't, that didn't happen.
Vehemently.
So she did hypnosis with you, and I want to be very clear on what you've told us so far, because we took very careful notes. You said in 92 you began hypnosis and you recalled sexual abuse by grandfather and a date rape that took place in 1981.
Yes, yes.
So you did recall grandfather and date rape.
But the grandfather was only for a couple of days. I started off by telling him about the date rape, and his reaction scared me, and so the abuse of my grandfather went right back in. I didn't, I just hid it again.
So you recalled it, but then it was gone again. Okay, but then in the last 3 years, things have become much more active in your memory, correct? With regard to molestation allegations, you say your grandfather put his hands down your pants and rubbed you, and grandfather and dad raped you.
Yes.
You were molested by your father while your mother watched.
I remember her hiding under the beanbag one time.
Okay, that you were molested by your mother.
Yes, I guess that's what that would be called.
You said that you recall your dad paid off people by letting them have sex with you.
That was one of my fears, and it was mostly the card buddy friends that would come over to the house.
Well, was it a fear or it's a memory?
I do like this. Yeah, I have memories, and I have memories. The memories that I guess I'm praying.
I don't get the air quotes around
the ones
memories.
with the quotes around them, I'm praying to God are false. And when I say a memory, a real memory, it's one I have had for as long as I can remember. It didn't just come in this last little bit. I'm hoping that the other ones are false, and so we call them memories.
Her memories of the past have been in very vivid detail of times and places that I wouldn't think most people would be able to remember. But
I'm not
common denominator.
they aren't. I'm just trying to get through.
Yeah. So
I have everything on the table here. You said you were molested by all your dad's military friends.
By two of them,
Okay.
And he brought. I have memories of him bringing people home from the bar, and me being blindfolded. Yeah.
Okay.
And him allowing them into my room.
But when you say that's a memory, you mean that when you're less.
I pray to God it's a false memory that occurred from the hypnosis.
Well, we would pray to God they would all be false.
Absolutely.
But are you saying you're less certain of that than you are some of the others?
No, I just really hope that those aren't true. All of the memories seem absolutely real to me.
Why would you pick out certain ones to hope aren't true and others you don't put in
Because
that
some I've
category?
always had, and they didn't just come in these last 3 years.
I understand. You said parents use card games as facade for swingers mixers, that you were passed around to your dad's friends at sex parties, that your dad and friend had sex with you at the same time, and that your dad had to do some medical repairs to you after the rape. You remember all of that?
Yes.
You took your sister's place to stop Dad from molesting her.
She couldn't take it anymore.
You had a relationship with Dad, and it came to the point where you thought you were in love and getting married.
Yeah, I didn't think I was getting married. We talked about the fact that why it wasn't fair that people that were in love with each other couldn't get married, that there were rules and regulations about that.
You have horrid memories of murders taking place.
Yes, I do.
And then
it
your
was
mother gave you a gun to shoot this person in the head.
Yes.
And later,
You could have helped a lot, and you refused.
well, what could have happened did. We're here now, and I am here to help. And so I'm telling you, we want to ferret this out if you're open to that. Tracy says 3 years ago, she started having dark memories from her childhood of someone being hurt in her family's home, of someone digging a hole in the backyard, and of blood-stained sheets. As though that's not enough, you have horrid memories of murders taking place.
Yes, I do.
You have a recollection of a babysitter, Josie, being killed in your parents' home.
Yes.
Okay, that a friend, Craig, was killed and buried in the backyard.
He was the person that I first thought I was remembering. He's the first person that came to mind. I was very relieved
Okay,
to
but
find...
stay with me, though. Do you
Okay.
have a recollection of him
No.
being killed and buried in the backyard?
No. I don't.
Originally, yes. We've cleared that. We have found
And
Craig.
spoken
we have
to
spoke
Craig.
with Craig.
Okay. Foster child Betty buried in the backyard.
She was the next person that I thought might have been the child that was killed in our home.
Okay.
And through our research and stuff, we were able to locate her foster brother and found out she's doing okay.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
I don't have a visual of the person that was
Okay.
killed in
Names
our
and
home.
faces have changed, but the way it all went down has not changed.
Okay. Well, Kelly's friend, Tina, was killed and buried in the backyard.
No, I was worried. She was my next one I came to, wondering if it was Tina. And so then I was on track trying to find Tina and make sure she was okay.
Then you had a recollection of Kelly's friend, Carrie.
Yes, then the next names and stuff, and since that time, I no longer say it was this person or it was this person. I say this person is coming into mind. I wonder if there's a reason this person is coming into mind, and then I want to check them out and I want to make sure they're okay, because either because of the false memory or because of real memories, I don't ever get a flash of the person it was.
Okay,
I don't know that.
Did I hear you say in the tape piece that there was a big fight and an argument,
Yes.
and
it
then your
was
mother gave you a gun to shoot this person in the head?
Yes.
And was the person already dead?
Yes.
So the person had already been killed,
Yes.
and you're saying that this was Carrie?
And I think it was my sister's best friend from the 7th grade, and Carrie keeps coming to mind.
Okay, well, is this a memory or a memory?
This is a memory.
Understand, we've been chasing our tail. We're putting faces and names to things time and time again. We have done quite a lot of investigation trying to chase these leads down. Ludicrous as some of it may seem, it's very real to her. The faces and the names have changed, but the incident still remains the same.
I understand. And then there was a dog killed, a boxer pug mix.
Yes, my dad's dog named Kong, and that came from a story that my dad told me.
Okay. I'm not asking you the story. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, oftentimes he would come into my bedroom at night, and I think he spent more time in my bedroom than he did his own. And it wasn't always sexual. There were many, many times where we would just lay there and we would talk about why he was sad, what his life was like.
Okay. Well, Tracy and her mother, Donna, have not seen or spoken to each other in over a year. We're going to find out what happens when they do come face to face for the first time when we come back.
She's accused us of molesting her, of killing a child and burying a child in our backyard. It's ludicrous. These are crazy allegations.
And later, you believe that this woman has molested and abused you, that she has watched while you have been molested and abused by others, and that she has murdered people and buried them in your backyard. You heard them digging outside the window, burying a body.
Yes.
Why would you go to Thanksgiving at this woman's house?
My mother knew that my father and my grandfather were molesting me. My mom is very dangerous to me at this point. I think that she actually used a form of hypnosis on us to make us forget.
Well, that was Tracy, who insists her mother, Donna, not only enjoyed watching her being molested by her father, but also murdered Kelly's friend and buried the body in their backyard. And it's been 1.5 years since Tracy saw her mother, because Donna says she's fed up with her daughter's allegations. Take a look.
These are crazy allegations. Tracy was never sexually abused in our home. My husband never molested anyone. I am not aware of any sexual abuse that she ever had. When the kids were young, our family life was what I would consider perfectly normal. Tracy is having horrible delusions. I don't see how I wouldn't have known if something was going on. I was home with the children all the time. Tracy made it sound in the beginning as though I too were a victim, that I was abused, that I was too weak to stand up to Alan when he abused Kelly and Tracy. That's the farthest thing from the truth there could be. I am far from a weak person. I am a very strong person. I was a military wife who held down the fort when my husband was gone. I'm hurt, I'm shocked, I am angry. I was mortified. The things that Tracy says were done to her are horrifying. She's accused us of molesting her, of killing a child and burying a child in our backyard. It's ludicrous. I can't even begin to tell you how it makes me feel that she can accuse us of all of these things. It's ridiculous. I would never stand by and allow any of my children to be hurt or abused in any way.
I'm sorry for the circumstance, but I'm glad that you're here. You've been listening to the show.
Yes, I have been listening to the show.
So far, painful to hear.
I've found out more accusations that we weren't even told of before. We never had a dog named Kong, though that's the smallest issue here. Tracy was never abused. Kelly was never
Dad never
abused.
had a dog named Kong?
We never had a dog named Kong. Never. I really don't know what to say about all this, except it's just so ludicrous. It's so ridiculous. It never happened, any of it.
Tell me why you wanted to be here today.
This has been going on for 3 years. The memories have torn apart our family. I need to know if this is real. I need to know that there's not a family out there that doesn't have a missing child. I can't shake that memory.
Right. Regardless of how it turns out, if there's guilt on the molestation part of it, if it's false memory, it's never going to go away. It's a demon that we're always going to have to wrestle from this day forward.
Sure.
But we would like to find out for sure, one way or the other,
what is and what isn't,
and deal with it.
Right.
Yes, the healing process cannot begin until then.
Well, let me say to the three of you, there's some things I want to go through to set the table here, okay? First off, I want you to understand something from me. I do not believe that you are intentionally fabricating anything.
Oh, God, no. Thank you.
I mean, and some of this may be true, some of it may not be true. You say yourself, some of it, remember,
Right.
some of them, and we're going to try to figure out what is and what isn't. The truth is knowable. And if there has to be some accountability here by parties, be it your mother or others, then I want to deal with that. My goal here is to help this family, to have some healing here and move this forward. Everything you hear may not be what you want to hear.
That's okay.
But I'm going to tell you the truth as I see it, based on 35 years in this profession and based on a lot of work we've done to try to ferret out what's real and what's not. And it's going to be on fact-based decisions. And so I want to, is everybody ready to hear the truth here? Do you want to get to the truth?
Yes, very much so.
Are you good with that?
Oh, I'm definitely good with that. I want all the investigation. I want everything to
Do you
come
think
out.
that she's fabricating any of this on purpose?
I think that she began by believing it. I think that it has grown and it has grown. And I know there has been a lot of recent lying. And when we try and tell...
what?
Lying. When we try and tell Tracy, when anybody does, I couldn't help very much because anything I said or did was suspect.
Well, of course, because
Yes.
you sit here accused of molesting your daughter,
Murdering.
violently and murdering multiple people.
Right.
And of course she would, if she believes that to be true, then you would certainly be a danger, a threat.
So
you
I
understand that.
could
What
not
I'm
help.
telling you is, in my opinion, this is
Could
not
have helped
some.
a lot. You could have helped a lot, and you refused.
I was
What could have
told
happened
not
did.
to
We're
call
here
you.
now, and I am here to help. And so I'm telling you, we want to ferret this out. If you're open to that, you believe that this woman has molested and abused you, and that she has murdered people and buried them in your backyard.
Yes.
Why would you go to Thanksgiving at this woman's house? And later,
I have no scars anywhere.
In your own
Scars right
admission,
there. I have never...
in our bathroom upstairs, I heard you say that you witnessed your grandfather fondling her on more than one occasion.
No, on one occasion, I witnessed my grandfather's hand in her pants when we were laying watching golf. I witnessed this one time ever.
I am here to help, and so I'm telling you, we want to ferret this out. If you're open to that.
I'm open to it. I have asked my family for help over and over and over, and you can't believe the responses I've gotten.
Dr. Phil, I was told not to call Tracy.
By who?
By Tracy. I was told not to call her. Was told that it made it worse when she talked to me. I was
You were
told
told
not
to
to
just
call
wait
her.
until I
Marty
got home
from
to speak
work.
to her.
Marty, she told me. She's told
No,
me to go to
I
hell.
didn't. I invited you to my home. I went to your home at Thanksgiving time.
I know.
I asked you to my home at Christmas. You didn't show up. You didn't call. I asked you to Colton's graduation.
You chose
did
to lead
not
the
show
charge
up.
of discrediting
You did
us
not
in
call.
every manner possible instead of coming
I
to her
came to
rescue.
your house after Christmas to see you, to
When?
pick up our travel trailer, and you disappeared to the casino 5 minutes away.
I didn't even know you were coming. The travel
You
trailer.
did.
I called you and
too.
told you that we were coming to pick the
You did
trailer
not
up, that
tell
we
me
were going
when
to
you
hunt.
were coming, Marty.
We
fact-
told you
the
that
fact of the
day we
matter
were
is-
coming.
Okay,
Is that
time out.
you're-
We have much bigger issues here to deal with than a
Absolutely.
travel trailer.
Exactly.
You believe that this woman has molested and abused you,
I do
that
not.
she has watched while you have been molested and abused by others,
Yes.
and that she has murdered people and buried them in your backyard. You heard them digging outside the window, burying a body.
Yes.
Why would you go to Thanksgiving at this woman's house?
Because that
Why
was...
would you invite her to your son's
Let
graduation?
me explain that. That was prior to. I don't know if the reason her reactions caused the false memories to expand or caused the memories to come in, but they have come in. They did not come in all at once. They started coming in first with just my grandfather. Then they started coming in with my father.
I understand.
That's when I started asking for help. That was within the first 2 years of this whole process.
Understand. We did go to Thanksgiving, but we hadn't give up on false memory either, and still haven't.
Okay, let me ask you something.
We hope it's not true.
Well, I do too.
And I did not think she was dangerous at the time. I did not know
You've answered my
what could
question, so
happen.
let's move on. Now, in fairness to the progression here, you have had some intermittent use with drugs across time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
In 94, you say recreational use of cocaine for a week. In 94, marijuana 3 to 4 times a week for migraines and insomnia. Then jump forward 6 years, cocaine recreationally, but just for like 3 or 4 days, you say. 05 to 07, methamphetamines 3 to 4 times a year throughout 05, 06, and 07 for 2 to 4 days at a time. Okay? All right. Then in 09, cocaine again, recreationally for a week, and methamphetamines intermittently. Okay? I bring that up.
When you say intermittently, yeah, like once a year. We average it out to be about once a year. Once to twice a year.
Then 2012, methamphetamines for 2 days. So I bring all of that up, not to say you're a drug addict, but to say that can certainly alter your neurological efficiency, consistency, and the electrical functioning in your brain. And if you're dealing with memories, that can be relevant. It just is. Okay?
Tracy had also said that she was using the methamphetamine while she was having the memories because she wanted to bring them in more clearly.
Yes, that's in there too.
She also told me that
was for a 3 month
explaining away a meth pipe, she told me that she didn't know it was bad to smoke it, that she only used the pipe when Marty was too busy to get a line ready.
That is a lie.
No, Tracy, it's
All
not
right,
a
let's
lie.
take a break. Next, we're going to meet Tracy's siblings and find out why her sister says Tracy tries to accuse every man she has come into contact with of molesting her. We'll be right back.
Tracy is crazy. Tracy is attacking my brother and I.
I was horrified when I heard these allegations.
The stories were so outrageous and perverse. A made-for-TV movie isn't this bad. All of Tracy's allegations are preposterous.
When the memories first started coming in, those memories were of my paternal grandfather. I remember seeing my sister sitting in his lap, and Kelly was squirming, and she didn't want to sit there. And I remember that I wanted to sit down on his lap. And I can remember him taking and sticking his hand down the front of my pants. Didn't seem disturbing. I can remember it feeling good. He liked to see how many times he could make that happen, and he would do it too hard. And that's when I would get urinary tract infections.
You just saw Tracy, a married mother with 4 children, discussing what she claims is a memory of her grandfather molesting her. Now, this claim is in addition to her belief that her now-deceased father also molested her and passed her around to his friends during sex parties. And her mother, Donna, murdered her sister's childhood friend, burying her in the backyard. Now, Donna says that none of this criminal activity happened in their household, and her 2 other children, Kelly and Craig, have come to their mother's defense.
Tracy is crazy. My sister and I were not molested by my father. My parents never had sex parties. When my parents' friends would come over, they would play cards, a game called Guts. It was some sort of a poker game that they would play for pennies. My father never touched any of his children. Never. Never. Nobody was ever buried in our backyard. Nobody was ever murdered. Her life was normal. Her life was boring. All of Tracy's allegations are preposterous. A made-for-TV movie isn't this bad. I feel like Tracy is attacking my brother and I to our core.
I do not believe that my father molested my sisters. There was nothing that rang true about what Tracy was saying. I was horrified when I heard these allegations. There was never any signs to indicate that any abuse was happening.
Tracy's stories are ever evolving and changing. First Papa, and then all of a sudden it was everybody she's ever had contact with, it seems, has molested her or used her in some way sexually. The stories were so outrageous and perverse, it was obvious none of it could be true. At one point, I couldn't talk to Tracy about her memories anymore because it was making me sick to my stomach. It's like a combination of Law and Order SVU and criminal intent. One of the accusations that Tracy has made is that I have tried to commit suicide multiple times. I have never tried to commit suicide.
I think Tracy is delusional. She has taken this just too far. It's destroying my mom. She's got to the point where she just can't deal with it anymore.
Tracy called me over to her house a couple months ago to offer me immunity. She informed me they've had a private investigator and the things they had uncovered about me were horrendous and that I would probably be in prison the rest of my life. I'm not covering up anything for my mom. None of this happened.
If I thought that these allegations were true, I would be fully supporting my sister, but it never happened.
She is very convinced of a big portion of what she's saying, pretty darn convinced of the rest of it. Kelly, what do you say about this? Did this happen or did it not happen?
No, none of it happened. None of it happened.
Show me your wrist.
None of what?
Show me your wrist.
I had them film my wrists, my whole arms. I have no scars anywhere.
In your own
Scars
admission,
right there.
I have never...
in our bathroom upstairs, I heard you say that you witnessed your grandfather fondling her on more than one occasion.
No, on one occasion, I witnessed my grandfather's hand in her pants when we were laying watching golf. I witnessed this one time ever, and she didn't even
Which is not
remember
okay,
it.
by the
No,
way.
it wasn't okay.
That's not okay
No,
by
no,
any
no,
stretch of the
this
imagination.
wasn't okay.
So then
This
it
was
did
probably...
happen. None of it's not true? Come on,
Okay,
man.
that one thing is true. Yes, that did happen.
What did you tell me about your wrist?
I never told you anything about my wrist.
Marty, you were there when she said that it didn't happen when we were kids, that it happened in Yuma.
Do I have any scars anywhere?
You said the
Tracy.
suicide, and you said you didn't know anything about it until she mentioned it. And you said that it was not from childhood. It happened when you were in Yuma,
Tracy,
after you and Bob had a problem.
You told me that it was when we were in Phoenix and you were kids.
Okay, stop. Wait a minute. Listen, no, you don't get to do this. No, hold on. Look at me. Now, if you want to unplug, we're done. It is not a response if someone disagrees with you to say, oh, well, I just, oh. Or you're going to hear...
It's the first time I've heard that lie, sir.
You don't get to have a little mini meltdown every time you hear something you don't want to hear. If you want to unplug, we're done.
I'm not unplugging. I'm bored at the lies that they're telling.
Okay, then stop the histrionics, look at me, and talk to me.
Okay.
It is not a response if someone disagrees with you, just say, oh, well, I just, oh. That's not a response. You're either going to plug in here and we're going to get to the truth, or you're going to hear...
It's the first time I heard that lie, sir.
There's a lot of allegations of lying going on around here, and you don't get to have a little mini meltdown every time you hear something you don't want to hear. If you want to step up and find the truth here, then you're going to have to plug in. And listen, I'm not saying anything to you that I wouldn't say to you if you'd been in my office 30 years ago and started those histrionics. I'd tell you, stop and plug in, or don't. You wrote me. I'm not the one that wants to get to the bottom here as much as you do. You want the bottom, right? You want the truth.
Absolutely.
Okay? That's what I'm trying to get to. Greg, did this stuff happen?
No, it did not.
How do you know that?
I remember the poker parties that were supposedly sex parties. It was a treat for me at home. I got to go into my parents' bedroom and lay on the waterbed and watch a little color TV. I remember the people leaving after the game was done. They never played very late. They never had more than a few drinks.
So you didn't see anything. You don't trust Kelly. You say she's been severely depressed, and you think she's just simply not telling the truth? I'm asking you,
yes,
you told me
abnormal.
during the break that she is an awful person, has been terribly depressed.
I didn't say she was an awful person.
Okay, what is it you say?
I said she's been very depressed.
And
her actions are very unbecoming to me of what I would deem a good parent to be in some of the things that she's done, but we're not here to dissect her. As you said, we're here to get to the bottom of a problem.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay on point here.
There are many directive things that have led up to my beliefs.
Okay, but if she's not a reliable historian, then I would want to know that. If you know her to not be someone that I should believe and trust.
Well, her story has changed through members of the family. Now, I don't speak to Kelly anymore because of this, but the story that I just spoke of that took place in my bathroom upstairs is very vivid in my memory as the way it was told. There was also something there that she said that was very disturbing to me as I sought it out, and she wouldn't elaborate on it after I started quizzing her on it. And this, you really don't remember, do you? Now, why would you say something like that?
In reference to what? I really don't remember what I asked you.
Some of the molestation took place to her. You really don't remember?
I remembered him putting my grandfather, Papa, putting his hand under her pants. One time ever. And I told her about it. You know, I asked her at the time, she was little. I was little. I was probably 8. She was probably 6. I mean, little. And I asked her, what was Papa doing? And she said, nothing. He just had his hand there. I said, oh, that's kind of weird. But at the time, this is late 60s, or early 70s probably, I didn't think a whole lot about it. And that's the only time I ever saw it.
The story
now
you told
later,
me was
as
that
an
you were
adult,
scolded and sent away. And
that what?
You were scolded and sent away when you started to question it. And the next time you saw it, you just walked up to it and then left.
That
That's what
never,
you told me.
That is not true, Marty.
That is true. That's exactly what you told me.
Maybe you've done too many drugs. I don't know what it is.
Delusional.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Okay,
but
well,
I know it's not right.
That's a rabbit trail I don't want to go down. I'm here to try to help you find what's real and what's not. I am fully convinced that, right or wrong, this woman is not making up things just to create drama. I just simply don't believe that. Now, you may disagree, but I don't believe that. We are nowhere near done with this story today. We have barely scratched the surface. Tracy insists her mother, Donna, is a liar and is covering up family secrets of molestation and murder. But Donna says her daughter's memories are a figment of her imagination. So who is telling the truth? Well, Donna agreed to take a polygraph test to put the matter to rest once and for all. You're going to find out the results tomorrow.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, she accuses her mother of sex abuse and murder.
This is a timeline that you have put together.
But where's the evidence?
What happened to the body?
It was just an unsolved crime.
She claims she was violated in high school.
Raped while on a double date with Denise. Denise denies that happened.
I'd have to hear that from her.
Well, you're going to hear it from her. Joining us is Tracy's friend, Denise.
What will a polygraph reveal?
Please tell me the lie detector test results on my mom.
Are her memories real or imagined?
They are very real to her. I'm the last line of defense to this woman, mister.
You want to get up on your hind legs and bark, find out what the hell you're talking about before you are enabling this woman.
That's tomorrow.
We'll see you next time. So long.